Hello everyone, welcome to my space. It's your girl Fumi Folarami. If you're new to this space, you're welcome. I talk about motivation, motherhood, health, lifestyle, and everything else. So today I'll be talking about how to write your first book. And recently, if you know, I recently published a children's book. It's titled Science Wins, and I have a copy right here. So if you haven't gotten your copy, it's a very lovely book. You should get a copy. It's on Amazon. I'll leave a link. You can get a copy. It's really awesome for kids between 3 to 8 years old. They would really love to read it. I have a friend of mine I recently gave the book to, and she said her daughter made her read the book to her every single night for an entire week. I think that's a big deal. So it's a very lovely book. Kids will love it. Your children will love it. You can buy it for your neighbors, buy it for your cousins, buy it for your nieces and nephews. They will love it. All right, so I just want to share today on how to write your book. So if you're like me, I conceived the idea of writing a book for a very, very long time before I finally actually published my book. And the book I published, my first book that was published, was not my very first written book. I wrote a book about 10 years prior to when I actually published my first book. So the thing is this: if you have a desire to actually write a book, the first thing to do is to have an idea in your mind. You need to have a concept of what you want to write. And number two thing you need to identify before you even start writing is to know who your audience will be. Do you want to write a book for children audience? Like, so that means you want to be like a children's book author, or you want to write a book for like married people, or you want to write a book for maybe a self-help book for young people, millennials and stuff like that. Whatever it is, you need to have a concept of what you want to write about and also who you want to write for. So your concept is very crucial, and then the audience is very important as well. Who do you want to write a book to? So the third thing is you need to actually get a book, get a paper, and write down your ideas and kind of put it on paper. Or we have our phones sometimes, so you can write on your phone and stuff. Basically, just have a concept of your idea and document it, and basically add flesh to it. So the way I start, so right now I've written a lot of children's books. The first one I wrote was a book title like "What is this all about?" Then I wrote something on Adike Goes Grocery Shopping. Then my third book that I published is actually not a children's book, it's a book on marriage capsules. And then the fourth book, which is like the latest book I wrote, is Science Wins. So the way I usually start is I have an idea of what the book is. I have a topic in my mind. I have a title that comes to my mind. And when I have that title, I just write it down. Then I start building on it. I start adding flesh to it. I start adding the skeleton to it. I start putting it together so that it comes out as something really awesome. So that is what I usually do. I kind of do that. And then, over time, it's something, because I'm very busy. I'm a medical doctor. So I kind of, whenever I'm off from work or I kind of remember something, I remember this, I should add this to my book. So I kind of add that. I usually write on my phone. I type it on my phone. And then, before you know it, you have something, you have like a whole page. And after a while, you can put it together, add more flesh to it, and then it becomes something really awesome. So that's usually how, especially for the children's book, I first come up with a concept in my mind. Then I especially the title. What is the title? And then I write it down. And based on that, I start thinking about the concept. Like, how do I want it to be? And one thing is very important when you're writing children's book. You need to make sure that the book sort of have a flow. You need to make sure it flows. It has like a rhythm sometimes, and then you kind of make sure that it's pretty smooth and it flows. And that is very crucial if you're writing children's book. And of course, children like fun, so you need to kind of introduce an element of fun into it when you're writing and all that. And when you've written your book, when you have the idea all documented in a place, next you need to find someone that's going to help you illustrate it. Especially if you're writing a children's book, you need an illustrator. If you're not talented with painting and making your own illustrations and art by yourself, you need to give this aspect of a work to someone else who can do it. So you need to get an illustrator. I use a lot of resources. There are a lot of resources out there. I use Fiverr. Fiverr is really great. I find an illustrator on Fiverr, and then they do the work for me, and then I'm able to put it all together. So after doing this, then you have your book, you have the cover, they format the book as well, and then usually like the books I've published are published using KDP, and you kind of upload the book to KDP on Amazon, and and then from there you are able to publish, and that's it. It's so easy, it's so straightforward. Many of us kind of, you have this idea in your mind, you don't even know where to start. The way to start is just start, write it down and build on it, add flesh to it, and before you know it, it becomes real. Like this book, it was just an idea, it was like a brainwave. It started as a brainwave, then I wrote it down, then I started building on it, and today it is real. All right, guys. So if you're thinking about it, you're writing a book, just start. Okay, just start, do it, just do it. Like the Nike phrase, right? Just do it, and then I'm sure that you'll be glad that you did. All right, people, to when they say come your way, stay lifted, because indeed life is beautiful, and don't forget to subscribe and connect and like and make comments. Okay, all right, we'll take care. Love you all.